Oh, this is just very exciting. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good.
Moot point, an issue which no satisfactory answer is found.
This is all a moot point.
The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! Ma, the meatloaf!
Like a cow's opinion.
I've had it with this dump! We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
This is all a moot point. Doesn't matter.
Yeah! Hello and welcome to the Moot Points podcast. We are...
Look at how much more confident you
I'm
sound right
so
now.
excited right now. I'm so excited. The level of professionalism in this room is throbbing.
I told you
Throbbing
last week that
professionalism.
we would have we'd have a brand new recording setup that has buttons and sound effects, and we can take phone calls. We were going to try to, hopefully we will have our brother Killian Moote on the phone today on the show to talk about how he done changed the moving game.
He did done change the moving game.
Done changed it. We may have that, but Pat's got sound effects and I mean, we're still having technical difficulties, which is crazy because this new setup we have in the studio, in the Shady Center Studios, basically takes care of everything for you. But I see Pat jiggling with cables already. It's only going to be a matter of time before we break this, so enjoy it, folks. If you'd like to call into the show, at me, at Moot Points on Twitter, and we'll get you. You can call in to the show. And
I figured it out. Now
you
we're
figured it
booing
out
you.
now?
Yes, technology's booing
oh,
you.
okay, Chet,
Don't doubt me.
booing me. You could also bump those sound effects down a little bit so they don't just stomp in over the top of the show. But you know what? I think you'll figure that out as we go. We got a fun show today.
Yes, we do.
Stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about our review of the movie Us that we saw in the pre-screening. I mean, this is before it's even hit theaters, guys. Well, I guess it's already hit theaters at South by Southwest. and
Now, yeah,
various other
it was
places.
funny. We were after the screening of it. We were talking about it, and it's like, I mean, I don't. The comic book guy,
Film
from
critic.
Simpsons. Yeah, the comic book guy from The Simpsons was standing behind us,
about that.
refilling
Well,
his.
I don't know. I'm not sure if the Heath Ledger Joker was better than Jack Nicholson Vulture. That guy?
Yeah, no, that guy. That
pretty-
guy. That
pretty
was pretty
accurate.
good. That was pretty good.
Okay, well, we'll see about
On par with my
Oh,
Liam
is that
Neeson.
what you think? You're Liam Neeson? Let's hear your Liam Neeson.
I have a specific set of skills.
I think anyone...
have to do with killing you.
I feel like if you're going to do an impression of Liam Neeson, you really got to learn the lines.
I'll kill you.
We're going to do a review of the movie Us.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, what do you have going on in your life that you'd like to talk about?
I don't know. Come back to me.
All right, come back to
Talk to
Pat.
somebody else for a second.
We can talk about the most god-awful things people have said to you in public.
Oh, God, I got
on
one of
accident.
those. I
Pat's
just
got one of
got one of
those.
those.
And based on the activity on my Facebook page, you guys have a lot of them too. But let's start with this. March Madness is upon us.
Woo!
And look at you. Look at you mastering technology.
Coming in hot.
I want to talk about March Madness. I want to talk about college basketball, but I want to do it in a way that I think is funny. And what I think is funny is I've been watching Zion Williamson play. Zion Williamson plays for Duke. He's a superhero. He's a superhero he's such a physical specimen. He makes physical specimens look like children. Like he's got rocket
crazy.
boosters in his shoes.
He's wild.
He's the
freakishness.
He's the player who went to do a spin move about a month and a half ago, and his Nike shoe just exploded off his foot. Just exploded off his foot, and he slipped and fell and sprained his knee. And, you know, he sprained his knee, almost cost himself hundreds of millions of dollars.
I know.
If he would have blown his knee out. But here's the thing. A lot of people are upset because, hey, the guy shouldn't even be playing in college right now anyway. Like, he's amazing. But because we have this arbitrary one and done rule, so I mean, basically, the rule in the NCAA and the NBA is basically so the NCAA March Madness tournament makes money. So let's not. It's not because they have some sort of like moral high ground or they're like, well, you know, we want these guys to have one more year of maturity. No, it's because March Madness makes billions.
So-
billions, and they want to make sure that guys like LeBron have to put in 1 year into the system for free and kick into those billions.
If you had to guess, do you think that the World Series grosses more than March
Not
Madness?
even close. It's
You're
not
right.
even close.
You'd be right.
It's
What
yeah.
about the NBA Finals?
Not even close.
Right again.
Super Bowl, maybe.
Super Bowl, not even close.
Not even close.
It still
and it's only
grosses
because
more.
there's
It's
how many.
closer.
It's for a month, basically. But also, even
Closer, but it's a massive.
It's not even close.
industry.
And the
It's
amount of
huge.
money it costs the American workforce in advertising on brackets and all those things, like, it is insane. The March Madness tournament.
I booked a March Madness commercial before, and I made buku bucks.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like culturally one of the things that we look for. It's March Madness, and NCAA is a beast, and that's why this whole
madness.
this whole college academic scandal thing is so funny, because the only reason colleges care is because they missed out on a piece of that money. Like, they want that They want that $500,000 from Lori Loughlin. They don't care that Lori Loughlin paid $500,000. They just care that they didn't pay it directly to the 501c3 known as the University of Southern California, which, by the way, should not be a 501c3. Every university, their endowment is basically a hedge fund. It's all ridiculous.
Are you serious? They're nonprofits? Is that
They're all nonprofits. Like because these schools claim that what they're doing is providing education. Now, I don't know exactly.
Oh my god! And then you hear about those the college scandal where literally at USC they were photoshopping kids' heads onto other kids' bodies to get them fake sports scholarships.
That's what I was talking about a second
and like
ago.
the team, they were all in
Hold
on.
on. Did you just check into the conversation because you were looking for sound effects on your phone? I literally just said that.
I did.
Thank you, Pat, for sharing.
Hang on,
Wait, tell us more about that scandal that I didn't bring up about 90 seconds ago. Okay. This is going to be my life now, you guys. I'm going to be talking about something, and Patrick's going to come in. It's like that USC college scandal.
It's like what you just said.
It's like the thing that I was just talking about. So I think that's the thing that I find ridiculous, that Zion Williamson is now playing for Duke, arguably for free. Now, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that every guy in college gets paid, which, you know what? I don't blame them. They should. They're selling jerseys. They're selling, like, Nike is dumping money into these things. But the thing is that if this dude blows out his knee, he goes from being the number one pick in the draft and a potential like hundreds of millions of dollars for something he should get paid for, to having an injury and not getting any of that money or getting a fraction of it.
So let's say you're Zion Williamson. What's the move? Especially after you got injured already.
I'm done for the season.
Exactly.
I mean, I have nothing else to
definitely not. If I'm on Duke, that's so many more games. You're going to the
right.
Yeah, that's another like 4
and
or 5
everybody's
games. That's
gunning
like a quarter
for you.
Of a season.
And your whole game is above the rim. Like, this dude is a freak athlete. I think the thing is this: people saw LeBron James, and they imagine, what would it be like if LeBron played in college? Like, how cool would that be if LeBron played for Kansas or Duke or Ohio State and took him to a tournament? How many hundreds of millions of dollars? Great time to take a big drag off your joint, Pat. You know what? You can upgrade the studio equipment. You can't upgrade the behavior in the studio. That's what I say. Pat's on a roll right now. Forgetting things, not listening, smoking weed. Pat, medical, by the way, medical for his C card.
Yeah, that's right.
So March Madness starts, and Zion Williamson, if you haven't seen him, I tangented for a bit because I just think the guy should be getting paid for what he's good at. He's a freak of an athlete. He literally jumps to block shots, and it happens so fast, and all of a sudden his head is above the rim, that like he flies up in the air faster than other people do. Like, he gets up that high fast.
Crazy too that, I mean, honestly, like, you watch him play and you think like a body like that, like, you know, he's just an athlete. Look at him.
He's 285 pounds.
He's a smart basketball player. Like, he's
Yeah,
really good on
is.
defense. He plays the lanes really well. He also is just like an incredible kind of defensive mind.
I mean, well, he is faster and stronger than everybody on the floor. And the thing about him that is so crazy is that he sets himself up for injury so many times. Now, I was laughing about this with Pat because I played college basketball, and I got to be honest, I don't know how any white kid does anymore. That's what I wanted to talk about. I think it's so funny is because when we were in high school, YouTube didn't exist. It didn't. There was YouTube, but it was just like this kind of, what, you know, upload videos to the internet? Like, that's going to take off. Oh, yeah, over TV? Yeah, right. And the crazy part is that I didn't know that Zion Williamson's existed, right? I didn't know that. I couldn't.
I mean, when we were, the internet
I had to find out the hard way in college when I was getting dunked on by guys a fraction of Zion Williamson's athletic ability. That's what's even more scary.
You know what would be a funny, like, to be able to go back in time right now, would to be able to sit next to Dad while we're getting just absolutely destroyed by kids who are way better, and him having given us all these pep talks about how you can do anything and everything.
No, man.
Like, watching him realize, like, oh my God, I sold them a load of crap.
Like, I remember coaches
to these children.
I remember coaches telling me that, you know, because I could kind of dunk in high school. I could get up there every once in a while. I've every dunk I made in a game I remember vividly. That's how few there were.
It's funny. We were talking about them too, and they all in your head played out way cooler than they ever looked.
Yeah,
you're like, I've heard you tell the stories where I'm like, I remember that, but it doesn't, like, you know, two-handed. It was
well, it was two-handed, but I don't know. Like, I didn't really hang on the rim because I was nervous about getting a technical. That's also kind of sad. But
I'd be stoked to get a technical.
I mean, that would be pretty great. But no, the thing is that in my mind, I was such a better athlete because I never saw the videos, right? I never saw what I looked like barely running down the lane.
Oh my God.
Barely making a dunk. But in my mind, it was like Michael Jordan running off. But here's the thing. I don't know what.
Like, you were a big kid, like, you know, full-size, good basketball
I was
player.
Zion Williamson compared to most of you.
Yeah, sure, good athlete. Imagine what it was like for watching me. Like, me watching
That's a
myself.
good point.
When they pulled up videos of me where I had, like, long hair that was shaved up the sides, I was so tiny that my shoes looked like they were longer than my legs were.
Right.
I was so scared. I looked like a little girl, like, prancing around out there. Watching that video was terrifying.
Well, I'm just saying,
And I'm still
but you were
sitting there at,
still
like,
quick
14.
and fast. I'm saying that I
Not
was kind of
really.
like, I was kind of a big, solid, not fast guy. But my point is this. I didn't realize that I didn't look that impressive until I started watching videos of myself in college. I was like, dude, I should be way better than this. I should be like, how's that guy beat it? That guy seems so much faster than he looks right now. I couldn't imagine being a high school kid and watching a video of someone in theory my age, not in theory, legitimately my age, at 16 and a half years old, going up, throwing a ball between his legs and dunking it backwards in a game. I just give up on the dream. I'd be like, what sport can I play where I don't have to jump? You know what? Ice hockey. Because now I can just skate, and the skates do the work.
I think that's where that kind of like dude perfect trick shot on the internet culture came from. Because this was the only
We're not going to beat you in the NBA, black people.
All these white kids started saying like, oh my God, we're never, you know what you can't do is bounce this basketball off that window.
I know there's theories about like the physicality of why our bodies are different and why black men jump a lot higher than white men. I know there's theories about it. I don't really care about the theories because a lot of theories sound racist, and I don't care. Listen, we don't need
white guys who could.
Well,
like, there's still like
yeah, but there's
a freak athlete is a freak athlete.
Okay, but there's not the same number. Let's stop being stupid. If you go to the internet right now and Google crazy dunks, if you find a white guy, everyone's like, "Oh my God, a white guy's doing that." Now, my point is, I don't really care what anyone's theories are. I'm just saying on. Courtesy of YouTube, we have enough of a basis of comparison for us to just reasonably say at this point, wow, black men are really good at basketball. They're way more athletic than me. And I'm not blaming anything other than I just don't think you could have put me in the weight room every single day for all of high school. I'm not going to be Zion Williamson after he eats a cheeseburger.
Okay.
I just don't know how any of these kids do it.
I don't think the internet taught us that. Like, I don't think we.
Well, no, it's in your face now. No, it's in your face. Like it used to be like I'm not even saying anything in a bad way. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that we have differences. I think I celebrate it. I think it's funny that I thought all the way through high school that I could make the NBA, and then I got to college and I was like, I cannot. Why did everyone tell me I could?
Okay,
why are you lying to me?
Doesn't that give you another level of respect for guys like what is it, DiVincenzo, or like some of these like young?
Yeah, but there's occasionally going to be a freak. But here's the thing: you have to find a 7-foot white guy named Dirk Nowitzki to find somebody, or Kristaps Porzingis, like 7-footers who have freak athleticism. And I'm not saying there's not freak athletic white dudes. There are, and white women. I think there's more freak athletic white women than there are white dudes. If I had to go numbers wise, I think they're more impressive.
I hate it when you go racial.
I'm not going racial.
This is so racial.
What are you saying?
You're saying that the internet I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying that the internet The YouTube has put videos
The YouTube.
of athletics. I didn't say the YouTube jerk. I said YouTube is putting videos on. People put videos on the internet. All right. Now, when you see a white dude dunking, it's like, oh my God, wow, that white guy dunked. There are literally hundreds of hours of 14-year-olds from Harlem going through their legs and banging basketballs. Like, the level of athleticism is one where I think if I would have seen those videos, I would have started crying and given up on sports.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the same experience happened to us when we were actually like,
I know, playing, but
like
it took
grow
me.
up
What
on
I'm
an
saying is
island
I
and then we
didn't.
get off there and then we.
What I'm saying is I
everybody
didn't
just kills
find
us.
those lessons out until I was getting dunked on by a dude on my team who grew up in Compton, a black dude who was like just jammed on me and acted like it was no big deal. And I was like, wow, that's really impressive, man. He's like, thanks.
I want to move on to something that's
Then
less,
you play the music. You got the music.
No, I'm saying I want to move on to something that's less racial,
Oh, yeah,
except
Except it's Us, the movie.
yeah, by
Actually,
Jordan Peele.
but that
Not
has-
that it's not a racially charged movie necessarily.
No, it's just directed by a black dude and has a lot of black leads and stars.
Yeah, and you
And
know
they crush
you would-
it, and they absolutely
because
crush
of
the
Get,
acting in
and
that.
because of Get Out, you would expect that there was like a certain level of
Listen,
of like racially charged.
you know how people say like, to go back to this last dunk conversation, I'm never going to apologize for the fact that I found out the hard way that black dudes are better athletes than me, hands down. Like, it's not even close. And I mean that in the most like admirable, like I admire it. I'm like, man, you were good at that. I really should have. I should have focused on a sport that I'd be better at, curling, just because there's less people doing it.
I mean, yeah,
And it doesn't take running and jumping. It takes sliding on ice. Sliding. Which, by the way, if you're just a better athlete, you'll be better at that too.
if Canadians can do it, anybody can do it.
Canadians are the worst athletes.
So yeah, last night we went and saw a advanced screening of Jordan Peele's Us. I was really excited about it. I love horror movies, so that's kind of my jam. I was like stoked to be able to go and see, especially.
But
like,
is it a horror or is it more of a thriller?
It's a psychological
Sci-fi thriller?
Nah, not sci-fi.
I don't know what the hell sci-fi
So
means.
it
I don't
would
even know
just
why I feel that.
It would be a psychological thriller, which falls. It's a which is a subgenre within
God,
the
sounds
horror
complicated.
category.
Anytime we should go just shout subgenre.
Well, it's genre and then subgenre.
Okay.
If it would be, in the
I know it's a
horror
branch
section.
off.
It would be
Okay.
the horror section of the movie.
There was a lot of laughs in it though. So, but
a lot
horrors
of
have
laughs.
horror and comedy are very close.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I
And
mean, look at
think-
that fine line we walked in that first segment. Horror and comedy.
Ugh, God.
Well, you know what? I'm going to post a video of me getting dunked on, and then I'm just going to tell everyone, whatever, man. I've been there, right? And I don't think anyone would disagree with me.
No.
All right, keep going. I'm going to keep derailing it back to that because I know it makes you
Why?
uncomfortable.
God damn it! I hate it. I hate it when you go racial or like when you start firing things up.
I
like,
do it
it's
with the
not-
most love
I
and
don't-
respect of any human being on the planet. Like I sound like Trump like that.
Yeah, I was
never
just
been
gonna
more.
say,
I've never been. There's
nobody
never been
has
someone
more
who has more
respect.
love and admiration for black dudes who can dunk than me.
Jesus. All right.
Than
moving
me.
On, moving
I've-
on.
My admiration and love. I'm
So,
the most loving
You're
and
not.
admiration
You're
filled.
not. You're not a movie
Buff?
buff necessarily.
No, not
but
at all.
over the last like 2 years, you've definitely become more. Of a
I'll tell you
movie
what I don't like
watcher.
about something, and I've watched a lot of movies, and I'll tell you what I do. And I don't know bad acting, but I know good acting, if that makes any sense.
I think everybody knows. Everybody knows bad acting too. You do know bad acting.
Well, I just think a lot of
It's
times,
tougher to sniff out, but really bad acting is you can see it from space.
usually bad acting is just a bad movie. I'm like, I just look at it, I'm like, this is boring. Like, you could try to crush this like some Shakespearean actor, but this movie was just bad from the get.
From the get.
From the giddy up. All right, so keep going.
Well, I'm asking you. So
Oh, what I did
I
not-
mean, just give me your like,
my general
because
opinion.
I will shred it.
Okay.
I will shred it to pieces.
Because you've had more time to think about it.
Yeah, and
I think
yeah,
us,
go.
and I don't want to do I don't want to spoil it for people because I do. Here's the thing: I think it's a great movie in terms of entertainment. It's entertaining. I think this story. I went into it. I think with my expectations were that of Get Out, which I thought Get Out was fascinating. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was well written, and I liked the weird twist it took with that crazy weird like racist-y world with, you know, like auctions and slavery, and
it
it
really
just was crazy to me. But I was like, wow, I did not see that coming, and that story it just was wild.
It took like the idea of a horror movie and added an element of like social consciousness and kind of like
Just a what if and weird.
Well, and just to be able to take something as an idea that's racially charged and put it into a horror movie isn't typically something that happens with a horror movie.
And I will say this too.
So that's what you're expecting out of this next one.
So this was really interesting because about a third of the way through, and it was only focused on the initial family, right? Which is the leads, right? The couple. I don't know any of their names. I can't remember any of their names.
Yeah.
And the kids, and they all crush it. They crush it. They play themselves and a crazy doppelganger. But what I was noticing when I was watching it was, and I think this is like a testament to how far we've come in certain elements of film. And I know there's been a big push for diversity when it comes to awards and award shows and representation. Is I didn't notice that ethnicity at all in the first, like the whole, at all, really. I didn't until I wondered to myself, should I? Which I think is a good thing, right? Like I just was
like
watching
in the movie, like ethnicity.
Yeah, like I didn't. So it starts off with with the black family going back out to their summer home or whatever, and not at one point, and they had white friends and they're all goofing around and on the beach. Not at one point did I think to myself, did I notice race at all? Like, and I think that just is a testament to a good movie,
good
and I think that's good storytelling, and also a good evolution for film to be at, where we can just have like the black family be the lead, the white family, Asian families, or like Crazy Rich Asians. I didn't even notice there either. I was more into the story than I was any else.
To a point where it's not,
where that's not even a thing anymore.
Where it doesn't seem, like
I don't want that to be a thing.
Yeah, sure.
So, but what I think what frustrated me was, I felt like the story they left on the table about the doppelgangers. And I don't need to, I mean, clearly there's a doppelganger situation because there's a family that is them, but murdery out in front of their house. That's in the preview.
That's in the preview.
That's in the preview.
Back off.
No spoiler alerts.
So back off.
No, but I feel like that story of who the hell those people actually were and how the hell they happened, I think that was a story left on the table that they didn't address, that I was more interested in than the murderous situation that they were all in. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what ultimately that's what I thought. I thought that there was a lot of hype coming out of Get Off, and I thought that it wouldn't
get out.
It wouldn't get out. Get off. Get off us. Get off. Get out.
That'd be so good.
Get Off is Get Off is the porn remix of Get Out. Get Off. And it's a way different movie. No, I just thought that the hype it was going to be almost impossible to match.
Sure.
And I had one more thought about it. Oh, but I thought the acting was.
The acting's
incredible. Thought the kids Lupita Nyong'o. Mm-hmm. She was amazing. Actually, the guy was.
That you
too.
said that because I looked it up and I was like gonna have. I know
Lupita
her name,
Nyong'o?
but I was gonna try and read it. It's Winston Duke is the dad.
Winston Duke,
the father, yeah.
He's great. I mean, they all are really, really good.
It looks like Anna Diao is the daughter potentially.
The little kid was amazing. Like, here's the thing. I think that people are gonna try because it's Jordan Peele. It felt like he's maybe a little bit busy right now, and I think there were some holes in the storyline that are not going to make sense to people and were like poorly thought out. I thought the idea was creative for it, but ultimately I think people are going to be afraid to rip it because it's Jordan Peele, and he's like the guy right now.
So here is my and Brian. I mean, Brian can attest to this, but I'm a harsh critic.
You're a snob, is what we say. You are telegraphing your sound effects so much, and they thunder in so loud.
That's fine.
Someday we'll figure this whole thing out.
That's fine.
Where's Killian to save this podcast?
Yeah, give him a call. So my biggest thing is that like the movie started off very well, and I kind of figured based on the premise that I knew was going on, I was like, this is going to be really interesting. I'm fascinated to see how they bring it all together, how he brings it all together, how the idea really comes together at the end. And it was funny because we're watching the movie, and at the end of the hook, so the hook in a movie is basically like The hook is basically the first 5 minutes when like something happens where it's like
Gotcha!
Exactly, and it alludes to what's going to happen.
So what's the hook
story.
when the kid walks into that bloody
Yes.
hand dude on the beach?
No. The hook is when
There are
the
families
girl-
out in front?
Yeah, no, when she walks into the place and then she sees like, the other version.
Oh, the mirror. She walked into the fun house.
And I looked at you and I said,
No, you nailed you annoyed it. It
I
was
looked at
annoying because you
Brian
nailed it. You nailed the
and
twist.
I was like, here's what's going to happen in this movie.
Don't say it.
I won't say it.
My brother nailed the twist right out the gates, which is annoying.
Like top to bottom.
Listen, I think
So
when
here's my problem
We've
with
hit a safe space to talk about this movie, like where people actually know the storyline. Listeners actually know the storyline. Then we'll get into why it's annoying what you did. But man, it was annoying.
I just nailed it.
Yeah, it was just awful.
So
then I was, like, rooting
but
against
here's
you the whole time.
But here's the problem: is that like they telegraphed that really, really hard. Then the story kind of deviated into this weird, like, kind of absurd reality where, like, it doesn't really. No one's motivations made any sense. Everyone was like kind of sitting around. It was underdeveloped what exactly was going on. They only got pieces of information.
It did seem like once people
It just got it went off on a tangent for like
well,
30 minutes of just
now that I look
everybody
back at
wandering
it,
around. Like what is everyone doing?
if you have to fight a doppelganger version of yourself, like your whole family, like right now, for example, if we went outside and there was a murderous doppelganger, you and me, and a murderous doppelganger dog, Bozzy, and we had to fight them to the death, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not
Sure.
Like, the funny part is maybe that's part of Jordan Peele's comedy of it, is that like the black family acted like white people, where they were like,
Oh my god! And the white family acted like idiots.
Yeah, well, I
they
mean,
were just so.
I do.
stupid.
One thing I do
Which
appreciate
was
about
funny to me.
Jordan
I
Peele's
liked
Jordan
it.
Peele,
I thought it was
like,
hilarious.
in Jordan Peele movies, white people are dying a harsh death, and I think that's funny. And I think we have it coming when it comes to movies.
Here's the thing here's a term that's thrown around, and it's something that people do when they watch movies, but it's the suspension of disbelief. So
Right.
basically, like,
Yeah, you have to. It's fiction.
You do have to do a
not
fair
a
amount of that.
documentary.
Jordan Peele in this film relied on a lot of it.
Yeah.
If you really want to like this movie, you have to kind of go into it and be like, I don't want anything to be over-explained, except for when it is over-explained, because then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what's going on? Like, this is like we were lost in this weird like that's my problem with it, is like starts out strong, gets lost in some sort of confused tangent for
Right.
about 45 minutes, and then comes back around and tries to wrap up this story, and it's just like, what?
It
what are you
felt-
talking about? Like, none of that makes sense.
Okay, so it felt like what they did is so let's say it's a 2-hour movie, right? It's a 2-hour movie, and for an hour and 45, you kind of know what's going on, you're entertained, story's doing one thing, and in the last 15 minutes, they tried to explain to you the entire series of Lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Like they were like, all this stuff, and you're like, what?
And that happens a lot in movies. It's honestly, I wrote a horror movie,
Which one?
the one about the serial killer roommate, and really like there is
It's
like
not about the
last,
murderous party house?
no, it's not. No, not that one.
The frat killing
There's
ghost?
like 5 different versions of that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Brian.
We're going to bring that segment back, though, Pat.
I
where
know.
we talk about
I
your
know.
old films.
I know.
And we try to revive them, maybe.
That would be my dream.
Or your nightmare. All your old movies, you have to come back and rewrite them. And,
Well, I have to tone down the
Well, the what?
language. The language.
why are you just curse too much in the
Certain
writing?
things were appropriate that are no longer
Whoa! You
know.
have a Me Too script there?
appropriate. No, not me too.
What? You're like,
No, just things that like there's a lot of art. There's a lot of
I'm uncomfortable with this segment. Can you hit some music? I'm kidding. I mean, you can. Oh, Kesha, save us.
yeah. So before we give away any more of the
Yeah, 'cause if
movie
we keep
Us,
talking
'cause
about it, we're
keep
gonna give
talking
away
about
the
it
story.
again, basically, both of us were kind of on the fence about it. I think go and see it. I'll see it again for sure.
Yeah.
To kind of get a better idea. But in general, it seemed like kind of lazy. It seems like maybe he was too busy to really come up with a
I
great
mean, he
idea.
just did that Lorena series. Jordan Peele's been crushing it.
He's crushing it, and I love him, and I think he's
Yeah.
really talented. I just was kind of
Now
like,
that I
meh.
watch it again, though,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
try
meh.
to see the role reversal. Not even role reversal, but I wanna now watch it with the frame of reference of the black family acting like dumb white families in other horror movies. You know, where they're like guys, let's not overreact. I know there was a bunch of murdering doppelgangers out in front.
Yeah, there was.
But let's just stay right here. And she's like, are you out of your mind?
There's like multiple times where everyone's like, let's just chill.
Yeah. But now if I look at it like, oh my God, are they mocking like the prototypical white horror family? Where they're like, guys, let's not overreact. I know there was a guy with a chainsaw in front, but let's not freak out right now. Let's see what's up. Oh my God, we can't call the cops. Don't worry. Lock the front door. Like that's not going to come back to bite us in the ass.
All right, we're talking about it again. We're talking about it.
Yeah, but no, we're not. Are talking about like stereotypes in movies. Don't you want to get back to race talk?
No, I should.
Race talk.
I was thinking. So, do you have an idea for another segment right now?
Well, one that we teased up front. The most awful thing someone says to you has said to you in public, and didn't know it was terrible. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I've had two in the last week. I had one. I was in Atlanta. And a dude just goes, and I was wearing sweatpants with no underwear, and I have a little bit of an ass on me, guys. I just do. It's just something that I got to deal with.
A little bit.
My cross, you son of a. And I was wearing sweats, and it was like 80 degrees out, and I didn't feel the plumber's crack, but apparently I had some, sitting on a chair on a patio for brunch. And this guy's like, hey, dude, you got a lot of plumber's crack, man. And I'm like, we're in public, my guy. Like, come on. If you're going to do that, come over and whisper it to me. So then I don't, like, everyone now knows I got to pull my pants up because my butt was hanging out. Who's calling you? Your phone should have been plugged in. We could have answered it live on the show.
I don't want to do that.
Why? Who was it?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, boy. Pat's going to edit that part out, I bet.
No, I'm not going to edit that part out. No. It's fine. It's just, it's not a call that we want to take.
Okay.
It's not someone who's going to be comfortable being on the podcast.
Well, man, we should have had your one up there too, because we could answer the call from bill collectors when they call live.
Oh my God.
So anyways, and then the other one I had was just yesterday. I had a barista at a coffee shop go, oh my gosh, are you okay? You look tired. And to be fair, or to be honest, I felt great. Like I just got done at the gym with yoga, and I took a nice shower, and I washed up. I put a nice facial lotion on. I was having a little bit of a strut from the gym back to the radio station, and then she just kind of shot it down with one quick comment of, "Are you tired? You look tired? Are you okay? Do I look like I'm walking around just screaming jaundice?" I kind of want to quiz Pat on the last 90 seconds of what I was talking about because he was texting and looking up sound effects.
Yeah.
So what happened? Can you paraphrase my last story or no?
Somebody told you that your butt crack was hanging out.
That was before.
And then a barista, right? Yeah. Told you that you look tired.
Yeah, and ugly and old and.
No, she didn't say that.
Okay, that's how it felt. That's how it felt.
Here's the deal, Brian, and I don't want to sound like an asshole.
Well, then don't.
Sometimes you look tired. You get up really early in the morning, and sometimes you...
I mean, I don't tell you how you look sometimes. You're just going to blame the C card anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, what happened to you? Someone told you something that was awful.
Well, it was today. So I've been going back to the gym because I put on some chemotherapy weight, we'll call it, just sitting around doing nothing, not really working out. So I put on about 15 pounds. I've lost like 5 though, so I feel pretty good.
Well, I think it had to be like water weight from the chemo, right? Like you're a skinny person.
Water weight from
you're drinking water all the time. Aren't you trying to stay hydrated?
That's because it dehydrates.
But then after the chemo stops, does your body like overreact and like now you're full of bloaty water?
No, it's just that I was sitting around and not working out as much, and I was eating okay but not great, and so So I gained some weight.
Why are you acting so? Are you so nervous?
I'm not. So I came out of the steam room today, and this guy looks at me. He's sitting on the bench. And he looks at me, and we make eye contact, and it's awkward. So I look away because that's what I do. And then he goes, "Hey man, have you been working out a bunch and lost some weight?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, did you used to like have a little bit more weight on you, and did you lose it? And I was like, wait, why? And he was like, well, I don't know. I'm just curious. And instantly it was like, do I look like someone who was really fat once who lost a bunch of weight?
Like someone like the success story of my 600-pound life.
Yeah, but it's not a great look like right then. Like what would make you say that? Am I like flabby? Like I didn't understand what he was talking about. So I instantly turned it to cancer.
Wow.
I was like, well, I've been going through chemotherapy, man. So
you're like that jerk who someone says like, oh yeah, is that like what your mom said? And you're like, my mom's dead. And you're like, jeez.
I know.
Which, by the way, I used to do that every time someone would say something they thought they'd be funny about, like my dad. I'd be like, my dad's in prison, actually. But, thank you for asking. I got some from my Facebook thread, and these are great. So when I was pregnant with, this is Christy Peterson. Thank you for commenting, everybody. When I was pregnant with my third daughter, someone stopped me in the grocery store and asked if I was having a boy. I said, nope, it's another girl. And they said, oh no, how terrible. It's like, why say anything? So congratulations, works.
What do you mean, how terrible?
Like I'm having another girl, and they said, how terrible for your life. Like sad for you.
Dick thing.
Kim Hutchinson said, when I was super pregnant at work, a person I have to be nice to said, wow, you are huge. And I said, yep, sure am. He's happy in there. And the person goes, he? Are you sure you don't mean them? Like you're that big. You must have twins.
Why?
Elizabeth Williamson said at the doctor's office, a nurse asked me if I was sexually active. I said yes, and she goes, ew. That's awful. Sorry that happened to you, Elizabeth.
Ew.
Lauren Stewart said, had someone tell me you're the most articulate 13-year-old I've ever spoken with. I'm 28. That's a bummer. Kendall Heron said, you would look prettier if you smiled. Someone said, I think a lot of these, I said on the comments.
Is this all women? It's just all guys being idiots?
Yeah, pretty much. Andrea Lou, one time when my husband and I were at the mall, some random dude asked us if I was a mail order bride. Why would anyone say that? Like, I put on the post, what did people say when they didn't think they were being jerks? Now I just think people think they were being jerks. Someone told me my daughter's absolutely gorgeous and asked me where I adopted her from because she looks nothing like me. Wow. Aaron Sharp said someone I used to work with, I bumped into her one day and said, oh my gosh, you're having another baby. Nope, not this time. That's just another food baby. Why, you're getting uncomfortable.
No, I was just looking at the things. I mean, this is a lot of people being like mistaken for being pregnant. What's wrong with everyone?
Well, I'm just trying to give people their due props for commenting on the thread.
I'm trying to get people to realize that making a comment, like if you think someone's pregnant, shut up. That should be the rule. Yeah. Unless you know it, confirm it some other way, and then say something.
I mean,
trying to get people to be reasonable here, Brian. We live in a society.
I don't know why anyone says. I think it's just people who don't know how to have conversations, who don't really talk to people very often, and they just get caught in this situation where they don't know what to say and they just say something like, "Yo, you got plumber's crack." Like, why would you say that out loud? Now you made me feel so incredibly fat and white. Which I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to say like I feel sometimes a little on the chubby side, but you know what? I'm down to about 230. I'd like to get back to 205 where I was pre-radio weight because my pre-radio weight was a lot lighter. But what are you doing, Pat? Why are you making
nothing? Just looking at some
stuff.
Well,
we lost a lot of the audio volume all of a sudden, so I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Oh, you just did that? Is that what did it? You're just moving knobs around.
Yeah, I turned you down. Right. You were coming in hot.
You can't change the levels in the middle of the show. Middle of the show. We're at the end of the show. I'm tired.
We are.
I'm tired.
I'm half in. Should we call Dad?
No. We'll call him next week. We need to give people a heads up. We're going to call him. I don't want to be ambushing people and then have to cut it out of the podcast when he says something weird.
When they suck.
Or says something weird. All right, you guys. This has been the Moot Points podcast. Pat, hit some music, man. Oh, God, guys. Here he goes. This is the maiden voyage on the brand new studio technology.
So good.
I can't tell if you have that up too loud or they can even hear us right now. Oh, that's probably a little better.
Yeah, there you go.
This Sunday, we have the Walk for the American Cancer Society. No, don't worry. We're doing another episode this week.
Yeah. We got another episode tomorrow, and I'm going to eat a buttered popcorn Jelly Belly, and Brian's going to take a bite of a pickle. And also, we'll update the list of people who've donated and the things we're going to do for you on our walk. It's going to be super fun. This has been the Moot Points podcast. I'm Brian Moot. I'm Pat Moot.
Pat Moot. You want to talk about Zion Williamson again and how black people are better at dunking?
Bye.